There's a saying that I heard. Pain makes you stronger, fear makes you braver, and heartbreak makes you wiser. On today's case, Mr. Johnson says he can relate to all three. He says his pain is unbearable and his heart is in pieces, but he's ready to face his fears and end his marriage. Mr. Johnson says his husband's disrespectful actions and selfish ways have him convinced that it's time for him to remove his spouse from his life, and he's ready to sign on the dotted line. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Johnson versus Johnson.
Thank you very much. Mr. Zon-tavious Johnson, you've come to divorce court today because you say you're no longer willing to spend one more day married to your husband. You say he has destroyed your trust and there is nothing left to do but sign the papers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nikita Johnson, you say you have tried to work through the conflict in your marriage, but your husband has made that nearly impossible. You say his accusations of infidelity are baseless, and you will prove that today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, gentlemen, you have been together for some time, but you have been married for 2 years. It's my understanding that there was a break about 3 months ago, and now we're here to decide if there's anything left in this marriage. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zon-tavious Johnson, talk to me a little bit. Tell me why we are in court today.
You know, I'm just done with pretending to be happy. Like, when we first got together, like, everything was all peaches and cream.
That's how it always is.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was my prince charming. I could tell him everything and trust him, but that's not the case.
And Mr. Nikita Johnson, do you admit that there are some issues in the relationship, that the relationship has changed?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here to fight for my marriage. You know, we both done some things in our marriage that I don't approve of, he doesn't approve of, but none of that matters. The biggest thing is I'm here to prove to my husband that I'm not perfect, and I'll do any and everything to save this marriage and come back home.
Well, let's see if the marriage is savable, because whenever somebody says stuff is in the past, I understand that it may have happened previously, but what stays in your heart is how it made you feel. And so I think that's probably what Mr. Zon-tavious Johnson is trying to talk about right now, how it has left him feeling. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Take me back to how you all met and then what brought us to court today.
We met on the dating app and instantly, like, hooked up. Like, we hooked up. He stayed a couple hours from me. He just started coming to see me all the time. I got my name tattooed on him twice, just to show him, like, my appreciation and show him how much I love him.
Ooh, Lord, you are 23 years old. I always think when y'all are getting all these tattoos at 23, it looks sexy and wow, wow, wow. But when you're 63, you know it's gonna be pointing toward Costa Rica in a minute, okay? So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, Sean.
Y'all think about that when you're putting all those tattoos on your body, Lord. Mr. Johnson, when you all first got together, it was daisies and roses, right?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. He was the love of my life. The moment I laid eyes on him, I knew we were meant to be.
Do you still feel that way?
I do.
And why'd you hesitate?
It's just hard. We do a lot of back and forth about not wanting to be together. It's just hard. One thing is, Zon-tavious, he has anger issues, and he doesn't know how to communicate with me.
Let's see where that's coming from, because usually I have found, unless somebody really has some mental disorder, when folk get angry about a trigger, that's usually because something has gone on to make them react that way. So let's see what that's about. I'll go over to you, Mr. Johnson, the plaintiff. You have said that your husband is disrespectful.
Very.
Explain what you mean, sir.
Okay, this just past Christmas, you know, we were supposed to go on a family trip. And for the past few Christmases, I've been wanting to spend Christmas alone. Not really alone, but, you know, with my family or whatever, because I never get to do it. But I ended up coming, you know, to go spend Christmas with him, and it seemed like it just still wasn't enough. We was arguing on the way to the trip. Like, you know, he didn't want me to go out.
It's Christmas. How are you gonna argue over Christmas? What's going on?
I mean, you know, Christmas, like, I'm young still, so Christmas, like, we like to go to the club, like, and that's what I had plans on doing. And he told me that I was a hoe if I went.
So I'm a little confused. What's the problem, Mr. Johnson?
Your Honor, that's not what happened. When we first got together, you know, me and Zon-tavious, we had an agreement that neither one of us would go to a gay club alone. If he was gonna go to a gay club, it would be together. He stated to me earlier that he wanted to go out with some of his friends that actually lived in Atlanta at the time to a gay club, and I said, oh, okay, well, hold on, I'm gonna go with you.
Okay.
I was wrapping it up with my family, telling them, hey, I'm about to go out, da-da-da-da. I goes outside, and Zon-tavious is gone. gone. So I text him, I said, hey, where you at? He said, I left. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean you left? I told you I was coming. He said, you was taking too long.
But you shouldn't have called me a hoe, like, straight up.
Like, I agree. Nobody should be calling anybody out of their name, but I'm about to come back to you, Mr. Johnson, and say, why would you leave your husband to go with anybody? Because your husband, remember, you're married. You took it to the next level. You said, I'm going to make a commitment before family and God and everybody else that this is going to be my first priority. So how can you expect him to be your number one if you make him your number two? Because those friends became your number one that evening, if in fact you had an agreement that you all don't go to a particular kind of club without each other. Because I know why, because you don't want each other trolling.
Correct.
I could figure that out, okay?
Like I said, I just kind of felt like he done disrespected me on multiple occasions.
Okay,
like
I'm listening.
Well, for instance, he decided he wanted to go out of the country to go have cosmetic surgery or whatever. He felt as if I should have gotten a passport.
Were you supposed to go with him?
We didn't agree on it.
Yes, we did.
Wait a minute. Where's the disrespect? I haven't heard that.
That's what I was getting to. Like, he goes out of the country or whatever, and he leave me with nothing, leave me with no money. He has his family to come to the house that we got together to take all of the belongings out of the house, like all of the furniture, all of the TVs, unplug the Wi-Fi. Like, it got real. Like, it was dark in there. Like,
Your Honor, he's not telling what really happened.
Okay, I'm trying to hear this, because the first thing I want to know is how folk come up in your house and start unplugging anything.
Your Honor,
what happened?
I did send family members over to get that, but what happened was, first off, I'm going to have lipo surgery to look better for him, because we've had a lot of issues in our marriage where, you know, we're not touching each other or anything else. So the fact that I was going out of the country to have, you know, surgery for him, I really wanted him to go, but that was a lot just to go by myself. You know, this was something that was planned months in advance, and, you know, I kept telling him, hey, you're gonna go, and his excuse was, I don't have a passport. So I kept telling him, you know, go get one. And he was like, I'm gonna get one. So he waited till the last minute. I even offered to, you know, pay for his passport. He never went and got it, Your Honor. And my biggest thing is, the reason we got into the argument that night before, because I'm literally finna fly out, and I was sitting there laying there, I'm just like, so you were my husband, and you really are not about to go out of the country with me. And, you know, he just like, oh, well, you know, this is something that you decided to do, you know, that's on you.
Yes.
I don't think that you should be doing it anyways, but the thing is, I really was doing it because of him, because I felt like I wasn't attracted anymore. And right before I left, what he said is, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. You know, I got up the next morning and I went ahead and got on my flight, but, you know, I called family members. I was like, you know what, this man really does not care about me, but because I've spent thousands of dollars to have this operation already, I'm still going to go. And I called my family members. I was like, hey, you know, just go get all my stuff out. I'm done, you know, it's clear he doesn't care. So I sent him over there to get my belongings and get the truck and everything, because at the moment, you know, that's how I was feeling. I was feeling like I was done. I was feeling defeated. I was feeling like I did not have my husband by my side like he should be.
I actually understand everything that you're saying, and I understand emotionally how draining that was. Mrs. Zon-tavious, Johnson, I'm just gonna say to you, I don't know why you made that decision not to go. If you want to save your relationship, the only thing you're gonna have to do is come clean.
You still ain't told me yet, so I don't know if you're gonna get the answer.
No, he gonna give me the answer, because see, I'm not about the BS. Were you at that location to hook up with somebody else? For real though.
He is still disrespectful, Your Honor. Like, he not even telling, like, the things that he do or, like, the things that come out of his mouth.
This is where I want to talk a little bit about.
I even got evidence, too. Like,
you have evidence of?
Like, put my stuff on the porch, like, in front of everybody.
Okay, I would like to see. Oh, really?
See, look at my shoes. Like, look at my clothes. Like, look how he just got it on the ground.
So, in other words, you got put out, basically.
Basically, out of the house that we own together. Like.
Okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk to you all about, because what this is saying is, it's not about being disrespectful. It's really about you all not understanding what marriage is. Marriage has ups and downs, and y'all are going to disagree. You know, it starts out roses and daisies. But there's always going to be an opportunity for you to have one opinion and you to have another opinion. Real, mature, married people don't do this. You all could have stayed dating if you all were just going to be silly. Is there trust in this relationship?
No, not at all. One day, he was supposed to be on a business trip. I popped up on him, like, at my friend's house. He didn't even know I was pulling up. And that really threw me for a loop, because you supposed to be on a business trip hours away, and I come visit my brother that lives, he lived 30 minutes away from me. I pull up, I see his car there, like, what's up with that? I still want to know what you was doing over there. You ain't even tell me what you were doing over there.
Your Honor, I was there to see his mom's friend, his brother's mom.
I disagree. She old, Your Honor.
Yes, they were getting ready to move,
old.
and we had just moved into a new place, so she said, hey, can you come down here and show me, some houses? And I was like, yeah, sure. True enough,
Johnson,
they don't have no reason to be talking.
Mr. Johnson, that sounds like you coming up with a lie. I don't know you that well, but I'm about to ask you a for real story. Were you at that location to hook up with somebody else? For real, though. Because if you want to save your relationship, the only thing you're going to have to do is come clean. Because my instincts are it was a little bit something different.
He still ain't told me yet, so I don't know if you're going to get the answer.
No, he going to give me the answer because, see, I'm not about the BS. I mean, if you come in here and say, I really want to fix something, then you have to start from a clean slate. Remember I asked you, is there anything in this relationship that is a positive? And trust was the thing I started to talk about. Were you there to try to hook up with somebody else?
Your Honor, I'm gonna be honest, I was there to see his friend. We had hit it off a couple weeks ago. His friend was kind of telling me some stuff that he was doing. I was kind of attracted to his friend. So yes, I was sneaking behind his back, and that's why I was at the house.
And now
so his instincts were right.
That's the problem, Your Honor. Like, even with him telling you this, like, he could have told me that while you were there. I still haven't got an explanation.
Well, I've been trying to tell him for the longest.
That breaks my heart, for real.
I've been telling him for the longest that we can't communicate and we need counseling. And his thing is, I don't need counseling. I don't need to tell nobody my business. I don't need nobody to tell me how I need to feel or how I need to think.
Because they can't. Can't nobody tell me how to feel in that situation. Like, I got somebody that's been around me, been in my circle, done quarantine in my house, done helped them move and everything, and you sneaking around with them, and that's making me look stupid.
No, it's not making you look stupid, because here's the thing I like people to understand. When somebody cheats on you, that indicates their character, not yours. Because if you come to a relationship with your whole self and you're truthful, then you've done your part. It's your partner that's supposed to do their part. And in this case, that's your husband. He's supposed to come to you and be honest. And so, Mr. Johnson, why weren't you honest?
Within that first week that I was gone, a dude that followed me on Instagram DM'd me and told me that he was messing with him.
It is so clear to me that this relationship is broken.
I'm done, Your Honor. I got the papers for the divorce. Like, that's all I want.
Are you sincere?
So you're really just gonna let 4 years go down the drain?
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. It sounds like you all have not been faithful towards each other. I know that something really terrible happened during the New Year's celebration. It sounds like around the holidays, that's not a good time for you all.
Your Honor, I ain't even gonna lie, it's over with. New Year's Day was my final straw with him. He kind of forced me to get out of the house. He kept coming at me and antagonizing me to the point where I just was not finna be there. So I went to go live with my family member, and I was only there for 2 weeks. Within that first week that I was gone, a dude that followed me on Instagram DM'd me and told me that he was messing with him and how it happened. And, he even told me that he had a tattoo on where his tattoo was at under his clothes. Like, I just feel like...
Side people ain't loyal no more. They just run their mouth.
I don't even know if he was trying to get to me, and that's what I'm saying. He don't know how crazy it made him look because he didn't think I was gonna find out. Not only that, he told me what happened, but I was like, well, tell me, describe his body, tell me. And he, told me he got a tattoo on his chest. He got a tattoo.
Your Honor, what he's not telling you is the same dude who DM'd him is a dude that he was talking to the whole time. And how I met the dude was literally out there in our subdivision. I was out there walking, and he said, hey, you married to Zon-tavious? And I was like, yeah, who are you? He was like, oh, I seen y'all picture, and he was posting that, y'all hadn't broke up or whatever, but me and him had been talking for a while. We met at a Mexican restaurant one night, and we hit it off, and we've been hanging out and everything.
That's a lot.
I was just like, oh, really? So, honestly, yeah, I started talking to the dude, but I was just like, you out here cheating on me and you doing whatever, two can play that game. So I started like entertaining the man.
I said, with me moving out that day, he couldn't even wait a week. Like I said, he waited 3 days and the dude DM'd me, and I just feel like I knew I was done when I left the house or whatever, but I knew I was really done when I found out that, because I had not been messing with nobody when I left. I was just trying to get my head straight.
So you and the guy never had nothing going on?
No. It is so clear to me that this relationship is broken.
I'm done, Your Honor. I got the papers for the divorce. Like, that's all I want.
Are you sincere?
So you really just gonna let 4 years go down the drain?
Yeah, like I'm done, for real.
Robert, may I have those papers? I just want to see what they
I already
look
got my part filled out, so. I want his name off the deeds of my house.
Thank you. Now, here's the interesting part about this. You know, y'all are not just dating, y'all married. So it's gonna be slightly more complicated than I'm gonna put your stuff out the house.
Yeah. The house that I paid for. Not only that, we're in separate homes now in the house that I'm still helping him pay for, even though I'm in a whole nother house. We're not even in the same house.
So
What you mean your name on the lease still? When your name come off, you gonna
start. But I'm not living there though. You didn't want me there. You forced me to get out the house and go get another lease. So I'm renting a place, and we have a whole house together where I'm still paying for it. It don't make sense. Like, I'm really trying to show this man that, yeah, I've made mistakes, but I really want to work this out, and I really want to be with you, and I'm still doing stuff that I shouldn't even be doing because clearly he doesn't want to be with me. You just say, I'm done. He just want to throw four years down the drain. He don't care.
I have divorce papers in my hand. Is there anything left here between the two of you? And are you interested in a relationship?
I want a divorce. Like, ain't no more counseling. I feel like can't nobody like talk to us about anything. He obviously did enough talking with other people. I'm done.
Mr. Johnson, your husband just said he's done.
He's not.
Mr. Zon-tavious Johnson, I can legitimately say to you, I can start this process by serving these papers. Would you like the papers served?
Yes.
Robert, serve the papers.
Because he's always missing in action when it's time for him to get served, so.
You've been served.
Whether or not Nikita Johnson signs them or not, the process has started. And you may continue that process in a court of law if you want to. You all were not skilled in the relationship of marriage, but you're about to get skilled in the relationship of divorce because you have now tied yourself legally to each other if you're legally married. And in order to unbind yourself, you're going to have to untie yourself. And that is going to require you to go into a court of law and have a courtroom decide who owns what and what assets belong to what person. And it's not a matter of just putting somebody's stuff out or asking somebody to leave or taking somebody's name off a deed. Unless you all can agree together on how to uncouple, the court system will uncouple you. And it is not going to be pretty. And it's not going to be just he said, he said. And no judge is going to care one way or the other who was sleeping with what miscellaneous side die. They only want to know, is this marriage irretrievably broken? And I'm going to tell you, it was an immature thing to do to say, can't nobody tell me nothing on how to communicate and how to get through to him. Because when you love somebody, if that's your mate, then you say, if there's something that I can do to compromise, to find common ground, then I want to try it, Your Honor. That's what grown people do. But if you are too immature to take on that responsibility, then you need to uncouple, because this is not how you build a marriage. I serve the papers at your request, Mr. Johnson. Now, you might want to talk to your husband and ask him to either sign them or give them back to you. But I can't do that for you. You, right now, are gonna have to put on your big boy shoes. Grow up a little bit, both of you. Robert, gay, straight, lesbian, queer, it does not matter. If you don't have communication, the relationship will fail.
Well, you know what? It's my opinion, but I think they did not get married because they were in love. They just loved the idea of being married.
Without the responsibility and commitment, they had no foundation of trust. They were just still out here in these streets.
Right.
And in these streets is where they're gonna end up.
That's right.
Made in Georgia.